Hello, and welcome to another Man Card Monday. Today we're going to make this fun, sweet, easy card that is great for anyone, and you can do this in any color combination that you'd like. Today I am using sapphire cardstock from Close to My Heart and 2 stamp sets, Into the Wild scrapbooking, which you do have the ability to get with die cuts. We're not using the die cuts today. And thank you badge. This card is super simple to do. There are a few futzy steps though because of how we're doing it. So let's get started. We are going to use the 2 stars from the Into the Wild scrapbooking set and the thank you sentiment from the thank you badge. We have 2 pieces of sapphire cardstock that are 3 1/4 by 4 1/4 and 2 pieces of white daisy cardstock that are 3 by 4. We also have our card base and envelope, and we are going to continue using the sapphire ink. The other thing that we are going to use today is some clear embossing powder, and I just have mine in a tub to make it a little bit easier to use, and just a disposable spoon. All right. Now, you do want to arrange this so that you can work quickly, because this ink is just a regular dye ink. It is not it is not a pigment ink, so the ink will dry very quickly. So we are going to stamp once and put the powder on, and stamp again and more powder. We're not going to heat it until the very end. So let's get started. Stamp and powder. We are just random stamping our stars across the center here, giving a little bit of variety here and there. So they're not in a straight line. And you can see that that powder is sticking. When I stamp, it's a dark blue. And when I first, sorry. All right. Now this thank you is a little bit more tricky. Because you have to work very, very quickly for this solid image to work well with this process. All right, so there we have our images. And then we're going to do a few stars on the inside as well. So let's set that aside. And we will do a few stars here. Again, stamp and powder. And then one more time. All right, we are done with our powder. We are done with our ink. We are done with our stamps. All right, so let's heat these. Okay, now we have our pieces embossed. So it does make the ink a little bit darker, and that's okay. It does make it a little bit glossy as well. I'm not sure if you'll be able to see that shimmer. All right, let's glue our pieces on. I am using a strong adhesive because the paper does warp just a bit with the heat embossing. I am going to burnish that to spread our glue and give some a nice adhesion. And one more time. I am using the darker side of the sapphire cardstock. You can see that there's a lighter side and a darker side. All right, so our two pieces are ready. All right, our card base. I have ink on my fingers, so I'm going to try to not spread that. And I've said this before, but I tend to turn my pieces sideways to get them lined up. It just seems to work for me a little bit better. That's our front. We are putting our stars at the bottom. And again, just lining that up inside our card. I got a little bit of color on there. And there is our card. Super simple. Now let's do our envelope. So we're going to bring back our stamp foam here. We are going to bring in some Post-it notes and just line up across the top of our envelope here. We are going to random stamp our large star across the back flap of our envelope. And then we're going to fill in the spaces with our small star. And then we are done. So now we have our envelope and our card for some of the guys in our lives. So these cards, you could easily make thank you cards. You could make them birthday cards. You could make them invitations. The possibilities are endless. Thank you so much for joining me today for Man Card Monday. Join me next week for another. Bye-bye.